Hey guys, welcome back to another session of Final Fantasy XIV Online. We are just gonna finish this quest. Well, if it isn't the Great Hunter himself. Huh? As if you don't know, all four of the cardinal virtues laid low, all with your help. You're the talk of the stairs, Zifu. When the night returned to the lakeland, we knew in our hearts that change was on the horizon, but never did I dare hope that you might help rid us of those terrible fiends. You've surpassed my wildest expectations. Oh, what? No. Not mine, Glennard. When I first laid eyes on him, I had an inkling that he was the hero we'd been waiting to come along. Easy to claim after the fact. You'd indulge me though. I would love to hear you tell it how it all played out. The hunting of the virtues, that is. Sure. It all began when I did the class quest on accident. No. My word, there's so much more to it than I realized. And there I thought you'd only had to track down the bloody things. Gods, though, the things you'd learned about the Warriors of Light, so many secrets and details lost over time. And for all their hard work and sacrifice, they somehow brought about the flood? Can't say I understand it at all, but it's a bloody tragedy, it is. We should gather the others and toast their memories. Heroes Eld, brave and true, to be remembered and forevermore. Now, I'll thank you not to let your bleeding heart drive you to offer up a fortnight's stock of spirits. Attend to the other customers and let me speak with the hero here and now. Wait! Is this her? Is this the lady? Cyella? That sounds suspiciously like the other name. Whatever would I do without your good sense of wisdom? Very well, I'll leave you to entertain him, but don't think we won't be having that drink someday. I don't know why it didn't hit me just till now. Ifo, I must thank you for sharing with us such incredible tales. It's only right that I repay you in kind. But the ending, that is. With the story of the true villain who towers above the virtues, the devil more deserving of death than any that yet lingers in this world. Your curiosity has been piqued, with me atop the balcony overlooking the crystalline mean. I'll be waiting there until you do. It's her. It's her. Sorry if my speaking and pronunciation is off. My left ear has been plugged up so bad that it's like I had to put medication in it, and now it's like popping and cracking as the medication settles in. So it's been kind of difficult to focus right now. I realized now I shouldn't have like started recording after I put the medication in. I was just like, I really want to play today. Let me just unplug. And yeah, I'll try to play without. Hopefully there's no reverb or feedback while I play. I'm sure you'll hear it. I'm sure it's fine. It's fine. Oh, up top. Came, as I knew you would. Ever met a mystery you could leave well enough alone, or a demon that you could let live, am I right? This demon is undeniably deserving of death, make no mistake. Let them down would be just and proper, the act of a goodly person, and it is just what you are, I can see that. No need to grow impatient or be offended, my friend. Before you pass judgment on this villain, you need first understand their part in everything. Who they were to the fallen warriors of light, for instance. Of course, right about now you must be wondering how I know what I know. What a tavern wench of all people has got to do with all this. Let me tell you then, I am the one who brought together virtue hunters. I am the one who marked you as a potential ally to them and bade you join them in their quests. I alone knew what had to be done and what sort of sinner would be needed to see this tale of tragedy and betrayal brought to an end. But come, we have many moms ahead of us still. Pelosia and Codger's Crook. I'll go on ahead and wait for you there. It is her. But why doesn't she seem... I'm confused. Everything's good. You're accustomed to life on the road, I see, as am I. Do you recognize this place? I thought you might. Here is where it began, where Ardbert first met Lamet. Still young and lacking in experience, but possessed of so much potential. Heroes in the making. Even then, the keen-eyed could see. They would only fulfill that promise much later, though, after joining with their other dear companions, Brandon and Rendon Ray. And one other, an elven woman, not half bad with a sword. But perhaps you are already asking the question, who? There were 5 warriors of light in all, but she would make 6. Indeed, after adding in Nalbert, there does seem to be one too many. Believe me when I say there was indeed a 6th adventure lost to history, and her name was Silva. Though I doubt I need convince you of this truth. When you walked into Virtue's memories, you saw her time and time again, did you not? Yup. Then you saw the true villain, the traitor responsible for all their woes. Let us continue this story elsewhere, to Amarang and the Fields of Amber. Is she not him? Her? I'm confused. Guess we'll just keep going. You saw the true villain's face in their memories, and I told you her name in Calusia. What were her crimes, you ask? Hearken to my tale and you will learn. Silva has joined the others before they first met Nalbert. After their party of 5 came to this place, they took on a commission to slay a powerful beast that had taken up residence in the mines. That beast was believed to be the instigator of ever more terrible tremors, and so time was of the essence. But during their herd search, they crossed paths with their future companion, then a competitor, aiming to usurp their prize. After another tremor triggered by the beast trapped them all on the ground, they had no choice but to work together to lay it low. But to their dismay, even after its death, the earth continued to shudder violently. As the adventurers looked to each other in confusion, Nalbert strode towards the beast's body and grabbed a hold of a curious stone, a stone brimming with untold ether, that he had sought out that he might harness its potential to rescue a loved one lost to the rift. But so powerful was the stone that it warped the flow of the life stream. Its very existence was a threat, and so when faced with the choice between one life and countless others, Nalbert wept and shattered the stone. He had held his comrade's salvation in his hands and cast it aside for the greater good. For his sacrifice he was judged a hero, and in that instance, a warrior of light was born. Oh, this is like a summary for all the quests we've done. In life, Nalbert was a pragmatic figure whose wisdom and sagacity was admired by all. Little wonder that in death he would retain his virtue. But as Nalbert mourned the friend he forever lost, the betrayer Cyella looked on in silent contentment, for they had taken the first step on their path towards becoming heroes brave and true. His sacrifice has sparked the transformation to us fuel for the ritual to come. What ritual, you may wonder? Fear not, all will become clear in time. Come with me to Raktika, to the city of swamps. We must retrace the steps as they were taken to understand the depth of their treachery. Oh, sorry. I had to pick something up. This place too is familiar to you, no? From days recent and long since past. After the events in Almarang, Ardbert and his comrades grew in fame, spurring others to entreat their aid. The adventurers sought out greater and greater challenges, and in pursuit of another, they came to Raktika. While here, the hunter Renda Ray learned that the notorious mark Balam Kits was near, and so under cover of darkness she slipped away from the others to slay the beast by herself. Like Nalbert before, of course, you already know what her motive was. Balam Kits has robbed her of her fellow hunters. Only vengeance would redress the balance. Moreover, she would not dare risk the lives of her new comrades, so terrified that she was of the mere possibility that she might have to relive that terrible day. And so she faced Balam Kits alone, and would have surely died for it, had Ardbert and the others not arrived in time to help. Like Nalbert before, of course, you already know what happened next. For her love, her conviction, and her resolve, was she chosen by Heidelin. From that day forward, Renda Ray swore never again to betray her comrades' trust, to share with them the triumphs and the tragedies, to relinquish the freedom she had once held out in the highest. The bravest, most courageous hunter that ever was, the moment would define what she became in life and in death. Her sacrifice would hasten the transformation, 'twas fuel for the ritual to come. Betrayer Silva looked on, yet more satisfied. They were oblivious to her machinations, unaware that she was dancing to her tune. Their journeys continued, and so must ours, to Ilneg and Ligaia. Ligia? Ligia? Oops. That's ominous. I can't see a thing. Oh, real dark. As beautiful now as it was then. You saw it too. Do you not agree? With the death of Balam Kitz, the legend of Ardbert and his comrades has grown larger than ever. Thus emboldened, they came to the kingdom of Vobert. Vobert had long been troubled by what some had dubbed a magical plague, innocents found transformed into misshapen fiends that the kingdom's knights had no choice but to put down ere the contagion spread. Brandon had been one such knight. In his youth, he had served the Princess Saldia faithfully, only to be cast out for a single mistake. Thus did he take the road where he met Arbert and the others. Having grown stronger and wiser and more respected, Brandon felt it was time to return and redeem himself, and with the aid of his comrades, he did just that. Podrick, the court mage, was unmasked as the mastermind of Vobert's misery, and by disgraced knight's blade was he brought to justice. But with his dying breath, Todrick cursed the Princess Thaldia, sentencing her to a fate worse than death. At her behest did he raise his blade, and for the sake of the kingdom, strike down his liege lady. With that single stroke, he forever changed, though nearly not in the way that was necessary. He stood at the precipice and almost forsook his compassion for unflinching judgment, but mercifully turned aside at last. Thus did he find and embrace true justice, that which weighs laws and heart together and strives for the greater good. It is a long, difficult road from which many stray, settling for simpler moralities, but I would expect no less of the man who became the Kaiosine. His sacrifice would strengthen the transformation. 'Twas fuel for the ritual to come. As her companions grew ever more powerful, so too did the betrayer Silva. Bit by bit, they brought her closer to her goal. But it was not yet finished. To Lucia they returned, and so must be. Amra in the next chapter of her tale will wait. Slowly but surely, the adventurers were fulfilling their potential. Word of their deeds in Vobert spread like wildfire. Their legend grew ever larger. For all their success, the fledgling heroes would be forced to endure more hardship and welcome more sacrifice. They were pressed deeper into the depths of Raktika towards ancient Branka. It was there that the dwarf Lamet came across to the crossroads, for in claiming the magic she desperately desired, she would be forced to renounce something equally precious. Dwarves are a reclusive lot, wont to withdraw from the outside world that their many traditions might be preserved in isolation. When the stone blight began to spread, they chose to lock away the afflicted and refused to seek outside help. Alamet would not abide this. She vowed to save her ailing kin, her sister among them, even if it meant violating dwarven law. With her newfound power, she returned and cured the sick, and for this she was banished by the Council of Elders. This came as no surprise, for she had made her peace with it long before. When she stood in the ancient ruin and called upon forgotten guardians to grant her forbidden knowledge, she knew then what the price would be. She had weighed her traditions and identity against the lives of those she loved and made her choice. Though it pained her terribly and in ways only a dwarf could understand, in Heidelin it would seem. Through hardship and sacrifice was a new warrior of light forged, a healer that knew more than any the value of a life, and would do anything to see it preserved even in death. Her sacrifice would nearly complete the transformation. It was fuel for the ritual to come very soon. Then, very soon. For Argbert and his comrades had stumbled upon evidence of a larger design, threads linking together the disparate troubles of the realm, a name spoken only in whispers, Shadowkeeper, singular force, sowing chaos and discord throughout Norvrant to an unknown end. If the Warriors of Light truly wished to save their world, then they would need to confront this villain amongst villains. And at that end of their exhausted search, at the end of their struggle, who do you think they found waiting to welcome them with open arms? The answer to that awaits us in Lakeland, our final destination. The villain yet walks among us, Ifu. Unknown and unpunished, go on ahead and wait for me at Lexen Loft. There are preparations to which I must first attend. Oh, my ear is popping so much. Like every time I talk, too. Ugh! Anyhow, seems like this chapter is coming to a close really soon. Oh. Oh. That was a misclick. Sure. Sure was. Damn you, Silva. We were comrades in arms. Friends. That we were, and that we are. Everything I said, everything I felt, it was all true. You mean the world to me. The bloody Shadow Keeper! What the hells was this for? For you, for every one of you, to forge you into heroes worthy of her blessing, that she might choose you as her champions. The ruthless mage, consumed by the pursuit of power to save his friend no matter the cost. I sacrifice a warrior born. Mournful hunter, scarred by tragedy, resolved never again to trust in others. By her sacrifice, a warrior born. Disgraced knight who yearned to steal his heart in justice's name. By his sacrifice, a warrior born. Troubled healer torn between tradition and love. By her sacrifice, a warrior born. And their leader, an adventurer with a heart overflowing with love for his dearest comrades, he must now bring his axe to bear against his own. By his sacrifice, a warrior born. I'm the villain you seek, the keeper of shadows from a world shrouded in dark. By our struggle will this world be shattered and its soul saved. Silva! Wait, who am I role-playing as? Am I role-playing? Oh no, I'm not. Oh, I was scared there. Not at all, did you? Thought you might. Mother's gift has a knack for showing us exactly what we need to see, not what we want to, or when. They knew me as Silva, but my real name doesn't matter. Like you, I am not of this world. I crossed the rift and came to the first. My home, the 13th, fell to dark in a calamity that mirrored the one which nearly claimed this world. I was one of several heroes who failed to save it. Oh. What? I did not expect that. In our despair, we heeded the words of the Ossians who came unto us. Thus did I choose to come here and, that I might redress the balance, hasten a rejoining of worlds. Shards subsumed by dark demands a mirror of blinding light, primordial forces will strive to achieve equilibrium, but there is a solution, a single solution, I believed. Were a flood of light to consume this shard in its entirety, it would be of no use. The Ossians made it clear it must be brought to the brink, but no further. The task was difficult, but the plan simple. Souls predisposed to light, fledgling heroes in the making. I would bring together Artbert and his comrades and groom them for a higher purpose. I would play the part of a comrade and guide their course, all the while laboring in secret to pit stronger and stronger enemies against them, until finally, once they were warriors of light, brave and true, I would reveal myself as a warrior of darkness, extinguish their radiance forever. Thus would this world be primed for a rejoining, the source for a calamity. Ossians would call themselves Mitron and Lawgriff, confident it would succeed. Indeed, Ardbert and the others rose to the occasion, as I knew they would. It was not to be. I had misjudged Ardbert. Comrades before him had made their sacrifices in turn, and as their mirror, I had grown stronger for it. Had he but embraced his role and struck me down, victory would have been mine. But Ardbert, dear Ardbert, would not forsake his heart. In the end, he chose mercy, he chose love, and I was undone. The rest you know. He sought out Mitron and Logrif and granted them what he refused me. They accomplished everything they set out to achieve, and then the flood came and washed it away. In the wake of my betrayal, I would look on from the shadows and reflect on my many sins, as all fell to ruin. Denied death, then and now, and perhaps ever after, the fragment of my essence endures. But then one day, years ago, my fallen comrades rose again as the cardinal virtues. It coincided with the arrival of the first scions, I later realized, a defense against the forces which marshaled to undo my failure. I can but assume the Ossians planted the idea in Vothry's head. They were his creations after all, and with their graves in Ulmoran territory, it was doubtless a simple matter to have their bodies exhumed and prepared. Who am I to speak, you may think when I say this, but then, when I saw those abominations he had wrought in their image, I was filled with such despair, such anger. I cannot unwrite the past. My soul is stained with blackest sin. I will not pretend that it could ever be otherwise. This I could not ignore. The Ossians were going to such lengths. Surely others would cross the rift in due time. So I hatched the plan. I would assume the guise of Cyella, and as her take up residence in the Crystarium, where I would take measures to bring together the most ambitious adventurers, individuals driven by more than mere coin, virtue hunters. That way, when the enemy the Ossians feared more than any came to the first, the stage would be set. We'd join the hunter's quest, together unmake Vothry's simulacra, and lay their souls to rest once more. And so you did, Ifu. Virtues are no more. But then, the one ultimately responsible for their creations, the devil who set them on their doomed path, lingers still. You know all there is to know of the heroes who saved the world. The truth I kept hidden in the shadows is yours. There are no more secrets to share. And so I ask you now to grant me that which Ardbert could not. Death. I'm curious about this. You still have a duty to others. No, don't do this. Don't you smear me like he did. How can you stand there and say I deserve to live, knowing everything I did, lives I destroyed, the chaos I wrought? Warden's pale in comparison. Surely there is no greater villain than the Shadowkeeper. Yeah, death is no comfort for the living. It would be for my own benefit, that I cannot deny. And if I'm to indulge in one final act of selfishness, you'll make me do it myself, won't you? Make me confront the cowardice, the ugly truth that I'd rather run away from than to try to seek atonement. Perhaps I may yet find purpose in preserving my comrades' legacy, and helping others to understand the sacrifices that made them true heroes. For now, I shall return to the Crystarium and continue to assist Glennard, while spreading the forgotten tales of the Warriors of Light. You've been good friends, you and Ardbert, in another life. Maybe you and I as well. That was an interesting turn. Oh man, I gotta lie down. Hopping is making me dizzy. tell you, I am not at all accustomed to wearing armor any longer. Simply moving about in it is enough to tax my strength. And fighting? If any one of Captain Lena's recruits could probably put me flat on my back. Fortunately, I needn't rely on my sword to spread the truth of my fallen comrades' deeds. Only words of the passage of time will see their legacy redeemed in the eyes of the people. Thank you for accompanying me on my journey of remembrance, Ifu. May your deeds ever be remembered and celebrated as all heroes deserve. That's it! That's it! That was it! Alright. Oh. Welcome to the Wandering... Oh, Ifu. Have you given any thought to Arbert's resurrection? Part of me wishes to believe it is him. That fate would seem to fit to return him to the living. But you and I both know it could never be so simple. Tell me about the Shadowkeeper. Why, only the greatest villain of her day, the mysterious architect of countless tragedies across Norvrond who finally faced justice at the hands of the Warriors of Light. A betrayer whose defeat set in motion, culminating with the flood of the light. But you knew that much, didn't you? Before I took the name, I was known by another in the 13th, a shard all but consumed by darkness. Where I met with the Ossians who convinced me that the only path to salvation was to embrace the dark and journey unto this world. I had two objectives, one to raise up heroes brave and true, worthy champions of light, Ardbert, and the others, I would join them in their journey and shepherd them unto glory. Heroes needs enemies to grow stronger, so I sowed the seeds of discord from Lakeland to Calusia, from Almarang to Ilmeg. I set in motion events that would forever change the lives of my comrades and countless others. My second objective was contingent with the first. I would confront the adventurers forward by hardship into Warriors of Light and strike them down at the height of their power, ensuring that the delicate imbalance between the primordial forces would be preserved just so. But in the end, I failed. Ah, how are you? Still tending the bar, cleaning up after drunkards, and Blinard. If this is the punishment you had in mind, I struggle to fathom a harsher fate. In all seriousness, I've been making an effort to use my spare moment to entertain patrons with stories of the Warriors of Light. But it seems a certain someone has stolen a good deal of my thunder. Judging by the ramblings of our patrons, drunken though as they may be, the people have been taking your words to heart. That said, Ardbert's miraculous return to the land of the living still concerns me. I'd be careful around him if I were you. It seems changed somehow, and I cannot say it's for the better. Interesting. Alright, cool. That's it. For now, I guess. For now, maybe? Maybe later we'll get more? But anyways, that was an interesting end to everything. And clears up a couple of questions I had about Cyella. But anyways, hope you enjoyed it. And I will see you later. Keep safe, keep healthy, keep happy, keeping on. Alright guys, see ya. Later. Bye.